Big Act Small in August, day 12 we're up to. My name's Tristan White. I'm the founder and chief guide of the Culture is Everything Club. The Culture is Everything Club is a safe online space for leaders of teams, specifically service-based businesses who are looking to learn to grow themselves, grow their teams, grow their confidence, and be supported to be the very best leader they can be. If you are here with me, please say hello in the comments. Give me a wave, just like Jeffrey's done. G'day, Jeffrey. Nice to have you with us here on a Tuesday morning. Thanks for being part of the Think Big, Act Small crew. If you are here with us, please say hello in the comments. As I said, my name is Tristan White. I believe the world needs more great places to work. The way we can build more great places to work is to support leaders to become the very best they can be. This series, Think Big, Act Small in August, is happening at 8:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. every weekday during August, and that is Melbourne, Australia time. With a tiny exception, Jeffrey, I need you to know this. I don't know anyone else who's a regular at Think Big, Act Small in August. This Friday, which will be, what's today, the 17th, so the 18th, 19th, the 20th of August, I'm presenting at a morning workshop in the mornings and between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So I will be here just a little bit after 9 a.m. on Friday morning. Friday the 20th, there'll be a small change. Think Big, Act Small in August is going to be just after 9 o'clock in the morning as opposed to 8:45 in the morning. So just a quick heads up on that one. If you've got in your calendar, please keep that in mind. Phil's here. G'day, Phil. Nice to have you with us, joining from Facebook today. I never know where you're going to join me from, Phil. Sometimes Facebook, sometimes LinkedIn. It's nice to have you here, Phil. Thanks for being part of the crew. Now, this series of Think Big, Act Small in August, we've been covering a fair few topics from the Olympics to coaching to taking what actually is Think Big, Act Small, the concept and the idea. Jeffrey, I loved your comment yesterday, and that was that your Think Big approach, Think Big, Act Small approach is about the marginal gains or the small improvement, the small incremental improvements that you can build over time. I absolutely love that. I think that's is a really great way to interpret it, and it's similar to the way that I do it. So thank you very much for mentioning that. Hey, Carmel's here. Morning, Carmel. How you going? Hope all's well in your world. In Perth, have you been out and about today? What's going on? Love to know what's happening for you. Yesterday, we did dive into the idea of what actually is this Think Big, Act Small idea. Yes, Jeffrey gave us an example. Carmel gave us an example. Matt McEwen was here and gave us an example. Really appreciate all those ideas. But mostly it was about business. It was about how do we apply it to thinking big about what business we can create and then acting small as to how we can engage our team, build our team, support our clients, and do that important work that will build us our business. Today, I want to dive into a bit of a more personal topic. And the reason is that for us to be the best leaders we can be, we have to embrace this idea of vulnerability. We have to show our true selves. Now, before I share a story and consider this a bit further, I want to clarify something. Being vulnerable and being authentic are super important qualities of us leaders. And I think we need to embrace them. But I also want us to make sure that we're doing it as professionals. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about buttoned up professionals who have got a tie on and who are never showing any personal style. And that's not what I'm talking about. But I am saying be authentic in a way that is useful and valuable to yourself, your team, your business, and your clients. If you're having a crappy day and something's really wearing you down, you can definitely mention it and you can definitely share it in a vulnerable way, which shows that you're human and shows that there's a way for us to connect with them. We all have ups and downs. However, do not, this is really important, do not share every single up and every single down, because people don't want to ride that amazing roller coaster with you. They've got their own roller coaster to ride. It's so important that we are vulnerable and authentic in a way which adds value and professionalism, and if it helps us connect with other people. I'm not saying don't be vulnerable, and I'm not saying don't be authentic. I am saying make sure that you're not being huge ups, huge lows, huge ups, huge lows. It's very difficult for people to connect with you, to know how to interact with you, to communicate with you, all those type of things if you are sharing every up and every single down. So that might be a challenge for some people. That's my experience, and that's the way that I like to guide. That's the way I like to live my life, and also guide other people as to do something similar. First things first, Jeffrey, what do you make of that? I'd love you to your thoughts on that concept of being vulnerable, being authentic with others, but also doing it in a way which makes sense for the team you lead and the person you are. Um, Carmel writes, Carmel's already on this. Carmel writes, balancing the sharing is definitely the secret. Oh, Carmel, that is a fantastic quote. I like that quote, Carmel Keylock. Balancing the sharing is definitely the secret. Thank you for sharing that. And Jeffrey writes, great distinction on sharing. Thank you. I appreciate that you understand what I'm talking about. It's an important concept. It really is important. Vulnerability and authenticity, so important. They have been buzzwords. Maybe they are buzzwords. I'm not sure. They're so important, but it's also a real distinction, a real clarifying point there that we have to make sure that we've got a filter on, if you will, to really clarify what's adding value and what is not. Now, speaking of which, why I wanted to just share that point is that us leaders, we are the ones who are trying, and I think it's so super important that we lead purposeful, sustainable, and profitable businesses. That's the type of service-based businesses that I think that we're trying to create, which can do great in the world. But we cannot create those type of businesses if we don't have a purposeful, sustainable, and profitable leader or leaders growing the team. And so this is about being focused on ourselves as leaders and taking care of our physical health. Mental health is an absolutely critical part of being an effective leader. But I think physical health is something that I've really struggled with. And I've had these booms of being super fit and busts of being overweight and really not taking care of my physical health. And I cannot perform over a long period of time to create this sustainable, purposeful, profitable business if I'm not taking care of myself physically, to have a strong physical body to be able to withstand the marathon that is building a business that does great in the world. And so I've had ups, I've had downs. I want to share a screen with you, something I come across just the other day in just a tick, but I just want to check this comment here from Carmel. Carmel writes, I choose the things I share depending on who it is and whether the shares will help them or give them something human to laugh at. Yeah. Laugh at is really important, Carmel. The same with sharing challenging times, sharing a tear, all those type of things. It does really valuable. I've shared tears with most of the members of the teams that I work with and lead. Absolutely. Hey, Jeffrey writes, I usually post above the line or seeing the positive side of things and could do more in terms of mentioning the challenges, trials, and tribulations that lead to the wins. Jeffrey, I think that's a really great insight, a great awareness of yourself. And I too. And my take on that is that I've had plenty of challenges and rough times in life and business, but I don't always mention them, or I haven't in the past. And partly because the type of learner that I am, I like to grab the gems, grab the learnings, grab the actions, if you will, and apply them, and not and I sort of skim across the learnings from the challenges. But just because I like to do that doesn't mean that everyone else likes to do that. And so other people like to hear the struggle, to understand the struggle, to understand the ups and downs and the vulnerabilities. And so by sharing more of those, I think that you and I could do better in terms of our communication and connecting with other people. So that's I really like that distinction. Hey, Jeffrey, I want to share this screen with you in terms of something that I came across recently. And remember, with context, this is about us leaders taking care of our physical health. I think it's so important that this marathon of life, this marathon of leadership, this marathon of creating a service-based business that does great in the world over a long period of time, we take care of ourselves physically. And as I try and get this screen share happening, here we go. Yes. All right. This is an article in the Sydney Morning Herald. You can see it at the top there, that came out 7 years ago. And it's entitled Amazon Paying Its Staff to Quit. Now, the topic of the article is not really that important. What I want to get to is a photo down here, right about here. I'll try and get about the right size on the screen. So this is an article that quotes me as the CEO of the Physio Co. And that person on the screen next to, I'm the moving one right now in 2021, and 7 years ago in 2014, that's me. I am definitely more overweight. I'm definitely chubbier. There's definitely something extra going on underneath my my chin there. and I'm puffier. I'm certainly wasn't taking care of my physical health at this point in time. And I really, really, really believe that my leadership is so much better now that I pay more attention to my physical health. This was a moment where I was in a bust moment. Maybe things were going flat out at business and in life, but I was not taking care of myself personally. And, and so I share that with you. One, to share a vulnerability. Two, to share what happens to me when I don't take care of myself physically. And thirdly, to say, I don't like the look of that person on the screen with me who's very still and very smiling right now, but I'm willing to learn from it and to have it as a memory, as something what happens when I don't take care of myself physically. And so I quickly share that with you because I think it's so very important that we take care of ourselves physically. It helps us be better leaders, but also we look back on the wins, the losses, and share the challenges that can happen. So that's my thought for today on Think Big, Act Small in August. Firstly, it's about being vulnerable and authentic to share the wins and losses, but making sure we've got context and we're adding value in the way we do it. And secondly, the second point related to that is that I think it's so very important for this long game of business and life that we take care of ourselves physically to make sure that we can survive the journey that is. So that's it. What are your thoughts? What do you think about the topics? I know, Jeffrey, you've been posting along the way. Carmel, I share the you got a comment here, Carmel. I share the vulnerabilities more with my clients who are also business owners. That's interesting. That is interesting, Carmel. So with your peers, if you will, they might be clients, but they're also peers in terms of business owners. You share more of that as opposed to sharing with your team members. So I think that's an interesting insight into you. Come, actually, you wrote one more thing here. The physical side has never really been an issue for me. It's always been the mental game. Yeah, Kamal, that is useful to consider. That is going to be our topic for tomorrow. The mental game. That's because I think there's a really tight link between the physical game and the mental game. So we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But for today, that is it. Thanks for being here. My name's Tristan White. This is Think Big, Act Small in August, day 12. I'm going to be back at the same time tomorrow, 8:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. Between now and then, have a great day. Remember to think big, act small, and I will see you then. Catch ya.